Hello, and welcome back to court. It has always been a really big focus for us to make sure that the clothing that we make for our son is accessible. And it's becoming more important to make those clothes accessible for me as well. I have long COVID, and I don't want to go into too many details about my medical history or anything like that, but one of the major side effects of that is that I get winded very, very easily. And I don't know if you've ever put on historical clothing before, but it's not the easiest process. And before you go and tear me apart in the comment section, I do have the vaccine. I've been boosted twice, and at the time we were wearing masks and making sure that we were using hand sanitizer, doing everything right. We just got bad luck. If you look back at some of the old outfits that I had made, we did historically inspired, and I leaned more into the historical aspect. Not to be confused with Muse, who leaned more into the inspired aspect. This often meant there was a lot more lacing in my stuff, a lot more layers, a lot more buttons, a lot more of those intricate, fine details that can be cumbersome. I was working on a Tudor piece, and it became very apparent very early on that it wasn't going to be accessible. It was going to be very difficult, and it wasn't going to be something that I actually was going to be able to wear or be able to use more than one time. A typical day of filming takes a lot, and while we do prep and have things ready to go, Muse just takes a little bit longer to get dressed because there are more pieces. There's more makeup, there's more hair things that need to be done. So it's typically my responsibility to make sure that I'm getting myself and our son ready to go. And he loves dressing up, but he's typically excited to film because he loves dressing up. So he's not necessarily the most simple one to dress. After the little one is ready to go, he goes to Muse to get his hair done, get his hat on, whatever case, and then it's my turn to get dressed. And by then, I'm really tired already, and I still have to put my outfit on. And this is just for a day of filming. This isn't a day where we go to a Ren fair, or a day where we went to a ball where I have to get dressed, and then I have the event for the next 5 to 7 hours. So, in the spirit of making things more accessible, here are some things that I changed for this outfit to make it more accessible. Starting at the feet, I decided instead of going with more historically inspired shoes, I use dance jazz boots. They lace up really easily, they go on and off. Because they're leather, they stay dry if the grass is wet or if it's cold outside, and they're just easier to get on in general. I've started going towards tights as opposed to stockings, very much the way that we dress my son, because by having a pair of tights on, it gives you a little bit more privacy and takes away that extra layer. For the pants, rather than having a shift layer and a layer that has a bunch of the tassels and things to make them look more historically accurate, I sewed it all together so that it was one piece. And rather than having a lace-up belt or a buckle or a snap or a button, it's Velcroed. I just Velcroed my pants together, and that's how they stay up. This also makes them adjustable throughout the day, so if I am starting to feel winded, I can loosen them up a little bit. Or if they start to fall down because I've been walking around all day, I can tighten them a little bit more. For the undershirt, rather than having it be two separate pieces, by having that shift and then having a doublet over that, I put them together and made them the same piece. So again, I could control that body temperature, and it was one less piece that I had to put on every single time I get this outfit on. You can see the detailing in the sleeves where rather than it being two separate pieces, Much like the pants, it's all one piece, and I just cut strips so that they could give the appearance and give that historical look without being multiple layers. For the shirt, I also added Velcro along the sleeves so that it could give that tightened look without having to add lacing or a drawstring to tie, because again, I wanted it accessible. By Velcroing it, it was something that I could do by myself, and I didn't have to have Muse tie for me. This piece was also constructed more like a shirt than a shift, so that when we were done filming, I could remove the jerkin-like layer much more easily. And speaking of my Frankenstein doublet jerkin shirt thing that I have, I needed to remove all of the lacing detail. It would take way too long to get on and off, and it made it really, really difficult. So I did. I took off all the lacing and replaced it with a zipper, because realistically and historically, if they had the ability to use a zipper, they would have used a zipper. It's historically accurate to be very lazy. I went with a coat zipper because I wanted something a little bit bigger that was easy to get on and off, that I didn't have to fumble with. It matches the fabric, so it's not as noticeable, but I wanted it to be as accessible as possible. The cape was a cape. I put it on and it caped, and the cape did cape things, and everybody loves a good cape. The ruff is stationary. It doesn't move. It is fitted to the size of my neck, and it closes with a snap rather than a tie that would have been historically accurate. This just makes it a little bit easier to, again, get on and off. The hat did what the hat do, and it did the hat thing that hats tend to do. Now let's talk about some of the things that I learned during this project, because it is very different making an outfit that is accessible for a child versus an outfit that's inaccessible for an adult. I learned that it is much faster to get in and out of this. I timed myself, and to get the entire outfit, including the tights and the shoes, took me about 2 minutes to put the entire outfit on. So that was massively more accessible than any other outfit that I'd constructed up to this point. There were some things that I did want to change or add just to make it look a little bit more historically accurate. For the zipper, I think that I wanted to add some kind of flap to make it look like there was a lacing detail up the front while still having it be accessible. The lacing detail would not function. It would not move. It would just make the outfit look more historically accurate because it was always laced up, it was always done. I also would have added snaps to the cape. While the cape did do cape things, it did become a little cumbersome when chasing after a little one. So just having that be a little bit more stationary would have made it a little bit more accessible. I also would have changed where I put the Velcro on the pants, because something that I didn't anticipate was it getting snagged on the tights. And believe it or not, I don't wear tights every single day, so it wasn't something that I necessarily thought of. This is pretty uncharted territory. This is a learning experience for me, and so there's a lot to still learn. So if you have anything that you would have done differently, or any suggestions to maybe add for future outfits, or anything that you want to see me try to make more accessible, leave a comment down below so that I can check those out. We've tried making it accessible for your pocketbooks, and now we want to make it accessible for your body. Contrary to popular belief, historical costuming doesn't have to be scary. We hope that you are enjoying our return back to YouTube, and we have so many new and exciting things coming your way. And if you're new here and haven't subscribed yet, get in, loser, we're going shopping. Until next time.